From the Keith Vincent Kale Studios in Patterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, the prophecies of Padre Pio. And now your host, JC3.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout at adamandeve.com. Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard Big Joe say, we are talking about the prophecies of Sir Padre Pio. In the booth tonight, we have Big Joe next to me. Say hello, Big Joe.
Hello, Big Joe.
We have the Pope himself. Say hello.
I'm the Pope.
We have Izzy in the
Hi.
booth tonight. And we have Mr. West behind the scenes.
Hey.
And we're, as you can see, we're talking about the prophecies of Padre Pio. This is our, I don't even know what episode this is.
I don't know. There's so many.
Like,
I think we have 2 left. I think
2 or
we have-
3. I think we have 2 or 3.
No, I think we have 2 left. I think we have to still talk about the Scientology and the Book of Revelations. I think that wraps up our season.
It. I mean, we can just look on isthisrealpc.com.
That's right.
I'm looking at that board over there, and it
That
says...
board is wrong.
That's wrong. That's
Board is
incorrect.
wrong.
Joey gives us some misinformation.
Board is
because
wrong.
Fake news.
He's just like, he is the
Yes,
fake news.
he's right. We
CNN.
do have 2 episodes left. Is the Book of Revelation and Scientology.
Yes, that board is
But-
wrong.
Let's get into the Padre Pio prediction. So,
Yes.
who wants to start off? Dad, do you want to start off tonight?
I'll start off. Just a little background on the guy. He lived to be 81 years old, born in Italy, had visions at a very young age. They call them religious ecstasies. I know before you guys jump all over that, what it is he had visions that were brought to him when he was very young about different aspects of the Catholic Church and different things that he saw coming on. And he also was blessed, I guess, with what they call stigmata, which would have been the holes in the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. Some people believe it. Some people think it's just a disease. It's a certain disease or whatever. But he knew at 5 years old he wanted to be a priest. He knew very, very early on. Patron saint of The Exorcist, and that's not the movie. I know people asked me that before. What else do we got? Well, he made some statements very early on, and they call them the prophecies, and we can read them off and see if they make any sense to you guys.
Well, see, that's what I like to do, especially when it comes to like religious stuff. I do like to read what they particularly said and interpret ours. Like we're all coming from different sides here. Like Anthony's not so much religious. I'm intermediate. I know, Isaiah, you do follow your beliefs and stuff like that, and Dad is the same thing, and so does Wes. we all have our views of, beliefs in this booth, and then we sit. I like to take everybody's point of view of what this man's trying to say, if you believe it or not. Like, let's just put it like, because this is your first episode this season, Izzy. Do you believe in predictions, like prophecies? Do you believe that those things can come true or not?
Yeah, the 12 disciples, they all wrote a book in the Bible. I believe them. But who's this?
Padre Pio.
Padre Pio. No, I'm not buying this malarkey. So.
You didn't even hear what he said.
I mean, I have an open mind, but I ain't
because
buying
his stuff never made, like, it obviously came out after the Bible.
And also, in your religion, you guys don't believe in saints, right?
No saints.
They don't believe in saints. He's a
Just
saint.
the apostles. That's it.
Yeah, so that makes more sense of why he wouldn't believe in stuff Padre Pio says, because Padre Pio is a saint. I mean, even though he did live.
Canonized in 2002.
Yeah, so should we just start off by talking
Sure,
about
let's
it?
talk about the prophecies. I'm interested because I don't know.
So,
anything
I mean,
about this.
I have 12 prophetic messages from St. Padre
Other
Pio.
than his connection to the Warrens, I really don't know anything about Padre Pio.
Now, are we going to ask these, and if they came true, or are they coming true, or does it look like they're on
Let's
the
see.
horizon?
Let's make that determination.
How about we read the prophecies and then we'll
chit
chat about each.
All right.
I have 12 of them right here.
Yeah, I got the same.
And Wes, we can get your intake on it also.
Sure.
Because again, this is definitely something that it's one of these things. Just like when we went through the Nostradamus episode.
Yeah.
It's vague.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So the first one here. Ready? The world is walking in ruins. Men have abandoned the right path to venture on roads that end in the desert of violence. If they do not drink from the source of humility, charity, and love, it will be a catastrophe. We'll start with you, Anthony. What do you think that means?
I don't think it's prophecy at all. I think it's an observation. I have it here on my phone as well because I did pull it up when I was Googling. The world is walking in ruins. The idea, okay, men have abandoned the right path to venture on roads that end in the desert of violence. This is very beautifully written, but it's like, simply put, violent means to it gets a violent end. Like, we don't do the thing, we don't honor your neighbor anymore. We do what's best for ourselves, and if it gets violent, too fucking bad. I'm gonna do what I can to win. Like that last part, if they don't drink from the source of humility, charity, and love, it'll be a catastrophe. What's the source of those three things? You would think it would be God. If you don't follow God's ideas or plans, then it's not going to end well. That's all he's saying. That's not really prophetic. That's just an observation.
All
I
right.
don't disagree with him, but it's not prophecy.
Is he?
Yeah, same thing. It's just you're just making a statement. If you don't follow the footsteps of being cherishable or have love, then you're gonna, I don't know, I guess you're not adding anything into this world. So, I mean, it's very broad, it's not anything. He's just making a statement. He's not prophesizing anything.
All right. Wes?
Can you repeat it again?
The world is walking in ruins. Men have abandoned the right path to venture on the roads that end in the desert of violence. If they do not drink from the source of humility, charity, and love, it will be a catastrophe.
It just sounds like he's summarizing parts of scripture. It doesn't sound like a prophetic vision whatsoever to me.
All right. Dad?
You got to understand, too, the context of what she's saying. This was 1959 when he supposedly had this revelation. And he wrote a letter to his superiors, and he stated what the revelations were about. And this is one of them. And they're going to keep it here with only 12 of them. I'm sure you can find the rest of them. In 1959, you were just coming out of Korea. There was another war. That's our third war. Or our third war in 40 years. Okay. The innocence of the United States, the innocence of the world was kind of lost at that time. You had, the nuclear arms race was just starting. The Cold War was just about to heat up. Okay. People were doing their own things. There was no longer a sense of, love thy neighbor. How many times have you heard over the years people that were coming out of their 40s and early 50s, even the 30s, would say, we never locked our doors. We didn't have to. We trusted our neighbor. We trusted everybody else. This wasn't happening then. And so at that point, he's getting this revelation supposedly from God, and it kind of fits into that point in time.
Yeah.
So I do believe that I do believe Padre Pio was a very pious man. I do believe he had visions. And that's just a personal observation. But I do believe Woody and I agree with Izzy. What he says, he's just basically saying what everybody's thinking at that time, you know? So maybe he went to bed one night and was thinking that and he thought it was a revelation. Hard to say. But in that situation in 1959, I do think that this might have been prophetic to a point.
And don't forget, after the 50s, I didn't realize he made it in 59.
Mm-hmm.
50 to 54 was the age of McCarthyism, which everyone was being hunted. You know, it was nobody loved your neighbor. Everyone was ratting their neighbor out. Yeah. So look at, like, is this really from God, or is this an observation of the times that he was living in?
No, I agree. I mean, for my particular view, I'm just trying to sit there and, like, wrap my head around history and trying to figure out if there's anything from that particular time period on that he could have been referencing if he was trying to reference something. But again, I do think this is just a plain, straight out, like, observation more than just a prophecy. Sure. You know, there's nothing really down packed in which he's talking about that I think is more like, yes, he was specifically referencing this. Or, I mean, you could say that about from 59 on all the way to today. Like, you could still use this. Absolutely. You know, if you believe in it, like, this can still apply to today. So, all right, we'll do number 2 then. Terrible things will come. I can no longer intercede for man. Divine piety is about to end. Man had been created to love life and ended up destroying life. So we'll start off with you again, Anthony.
Oh, he says it right there. I can no longer intercede for men. You know, like, I can't do this. We fucked up. We can't fix this. Bad shit's about to happen, and you guys fucked it all up. That's what I'm reading this as. You know, again, it's not a prophecy. I mean, he's saying that divine piety is about to end. Okay. Doesn't say how. I mean, it's just he's blaming men, essentially. You fucked up, and guess what? It's all bad now. It's all fucked. That's all I'm getting from that statement.
And how about you, Izzy?
It's just another observation. I mean, him being, you know, not too long ago, he died in 1960 something?
68.
68. So, I mean, he's just observing how the world is going. The world isn't perfect. It hasn't been perfect ever. So, he's just making another observation, you know? Just from scripture and the laws of being Catholic and stuff, and the world is not following in those footsteps. So he's just saying the same thing.
And you put into times of how it was back in the 60s. You're talking he died in 68, so he saw, I mean, granted, he saw the wars, but at the same time, he saw a president be murdered.
Yeah.
Well, it was if this was in 59, no, he did not. He didn't see any murder. 59.
Well, 50, this all came in 59?
1959.
Okay, then don't. But like,
so he still saw the horrors of Korea and World War II.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially World War II, and, you know, we all know what the fuck happened. All right, Wes?
Just another vague observation for me. There's nothing. It just sounds too like relevant. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like anything like grand prophecy. Like, it doesn't sound like it's coming from Big Guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
from Big Guy.
I agree, because I don't believe that. To me, they don't sound like prophecies. Prophecy is like, this is going to happen. It's going to happen this time. You know, Nostradamus type stuff.
But the thing is, like,
these are statements.
When you're looking at it, especially how they're, I guess, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank on the word. You know, how they're talking about them. They turn around. They're like, well, these are prophecies. Like, so, like, how could you sit there and declare what is a prophecy and what's not?
Well, here's the thing. I think let's skip the third one, right? Because the fourth one, as I'm reading, I think is it's definitely in that wheelhouse of prophecy. Prepare to live in 3 days in total darkness. That's a warning, right? That's, to me, what a prophecy is. It's the foretelling of events that have yet to come. Prepare to live in 3 days in total darkness. These 3 days are very close, and in these days they will remain as dead without eating or drinking. Then the light will return, but many will be the men who will not see the light anymore. 3 days of darkness.
What could he talk?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
And in these days they will remain as dead without eating or drinking. What the fuck are you talking about, bruh?
Well, see, that's the thing. You don't know. You don't. It may not have happened.
Kind of
yet.
sounds like a famine that's yet to
There's-
come.
There's places in the world that doesn't see the light of day. It's just dark all day. I don't know what he's talking about.
Could be an
That's
ec-
far
well,
enough
like
to the
a
earth.
disease or a.
Can I
An eclipse?
Can
Yeah,
I
an
stretch?
eclipse.
Can I stretch something out
Sure.
here?
Yeah.
It's a very big stretch, but
Coming from a big guy.
fuck you. But 3 days of darkness,
What?
Uh-huh.
both Kennedy assassination days, and Martin Luther King being shot.
So fuck Malcolm X.
Yeah. That was rude.
Who's a bigger person, Malcolm X or fucking Martin Luther King?
They were both. They're on par with each other.
Yeah, I would
They
put
took
him
different
first, yeah.
strides, but they wanted the same thing. You can't say that, like, okay, let's think about who was killed, who, you know, you're applying what happened to try and make up and say this is what he was talking about, and in reality, you can say that from any point of view. Like, who's to say that those are the 3 days? What if the 3 days
Well,
are something
okay,
that are
but what I'm-
happened in the
what-
last
Like,
10
you
years?
think he's talking about like 3 consecutive days, like boom, boom,
Well,
boom?
that's you can interpret it like that's what I'm
Could
saying.
also
Like,
be like how God interprets a day, because from my understanding in Scripture, a day is like the equivalent to like a year.
Or a millennium or whatever. There's no rules. We
Well,
don't know what
my
the fuck it
thing is
means.
when-
Especially if we're
he-
gonna go off of like God's time and stuff too, because if it's a day, like a day for God is like a year or a decade for us.
yeah. Well, I mean, what if I'm gonna sit there and again, we could sit there and interpret it for days because there's no specific meaning, stuff like that. Like for me, when it comes to something like that, like the reason my mind goes specifically those 3 days because yes, you do the Malcolm X killing
Assassination.
Thank
assassination
you.
was a dark blip on the calendar. I'm not going to say it's not.
Sure was.
I understand that. But from history's perspective, when you talk about both the Kennedy assassinations and Martin Luther King, for me, it goes into the last line. Again, this is just from my perspective. Then the light will return, meaning the days move on, but many, like Dad's generation, the generation that was being born, and Mama's and all that, the light will never seem like the light anymore.
Many will be the men who will not see it anymore.
I'm gonna
So
go.
the innocence was gone.
Oh, you're thinking of the innocence.
Yeah, the innocence of man was gone.
It's still a hard stretch, but I understand what you're saying.
So like
Big guy,
that's
remember that.
what
Big guy, remember that.
that's what I'm saying. Like for me, like Dad says this all the time. Like the innocence of the 50s and the 40s. Granted, there was horrible times there, but there's still a sense of innocence in that times. Throughout the 60s, that was all ripped away with everything that happened in the 60s. And those 3 moments, both assassinations of the Kennedys and the Martin Luther King murder assassination.
Well, Martin Luther King was also assassinated.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like those are 3 big things in the 60s that to me just exemplify how the innocence of the previous decades just wiped away, including the war in Vietnam and stuff like that. And, these things that turn around, it's like everyone's eyes were opening up to what was happening in the world, and we weren't just, oh, TV has color.
I don't know. But I think it's too vague to say that those are the days specifically.
That's what I'm saying.
According to the Catholic Church, they have no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah.
What they can say
What
is
does the Catholic Church do now?
Okay, what they can say is about the 3 days of darkness. In certain Catholic prophecy circles, there's a concept known as a 3 day of darkness, according to which a judgment will come upon the earth, and the earth will be preternaturally shrouded in darkness. One of the most famous quotations about this event is attributed to the Italian mystic by Anna Maria Tagia, whatever, is said to have stated, there shall come over the whole earth an intense darkness lasting 3 days and 3 nights. Nothing can be seen, and the air will be laden with pestilence, which will claim mainly, but not only, the enemies of religion. It will be impossible to use any man-made lighting during this darkness, except blessed candles. He who out of curiosity opens his window to look out or leaves his home will fall dead on the spot. During these 3 days, people should remain in their homes, pray the rosary, and beg God for mercy. All the enemies of the church, whether known or unknown, will perish over the whole earth during universal darkness, with the exception of a few whom God will soon convert. The air shall be infected by demons who will appear under all sorts of hideous forms. So according to this woman, it's the end of days when we all get judged, apparently, like in the Bible.
So if you go to get, if DoorDash drops off your delivery and you go to get it, you're going to drop dead? That's fucked up.
Well, DoorDash not getting there because...
Yeah, they're dropping that too.
And they have blessed candles. I have not seen that on their Amazon wish page. Like, what are blessed candles?
Well, like
They're the images with Jesus and all that.
Anyone can
the ones
make
you
those.
get from the bodega.
It goes
Yeah.
really...
Exactly.
The
No,
one your
anyone
grandma,
can
the
make
one,
a
the one the
Jesus
grandma and
candle.
the tias be
What a
using.
bunch of malarkey.
Anyone can make a Jesus candle. That doesn't make it blessed. Do you mean like it has to be blessed by a priest? Or are these like holy LED candles? Are they battery powered? Or like do they sell matches with
They're
it?
powered by the Holy Spirit.
There's
You gotta
so
get them
many
from
questions.
your local Catholic church.
There are so
for
many
$49.99.
And let's put that part on the back burner for a second. 3 days of darkness in which the world is covered, and if you open up your window, you die instantly. First of all, that has never happened, and there's no reasonable.
well, this is
let me
again.
finish.
This is not Padre Pio.
I
saying
understand
That's
but
that
there's-
COVID-20.
There's no reasonable thing that can make that happen. Where it's just pitch black outside for 3 days. There's nothing in the universe that we've observed that can make that happen. There's nothing on Earth that we have seen that can make
And
that
he
happen.
said mankind lights won't work.
Yeah, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I don't know.
There's no solar eclipse
Well,
that
no,
lasts
yeah.
for 3 days. Even during an eclipse, you still get some light.
I think what you're doing is you're taking this to the extreme. I think, you just let it be for on its surface what he meant. He made a statement. Let's see if it comes
No,
true.
I'm shredding that person.
Yeah, he's shredding that. He's not
because
shredding
that to me is prophecy. And that's going, no, this is going to happen. Be prepared for it. Make sure you
Yeah,
have
like
toilet
that
paper.
was broad and direct. Like, this is what's gonna happen.
Just stay in your homes and pray for mercy. Is that really what God wants? Everyone just to hunker down and pray
I don't know.
for
I've
4
never
fucking
interviewed
days?
God. But if he
Let-
wants to come on the podcast, we can I'll set him up another chair. Not a problem.
He could have mine.
I would
We're,
love to be sponsored.
we're gonna take a break,
So you brought by Jesus.
and we'll get more into because there are a little bit more that he actually is talking about
Nah, I know.
prophecies. So we'll be right back. Please go listen to some of our sponsors.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid Collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories,
No calories.
no sugars,
No sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to w.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Pass and Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade's right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
And welcome back to our Padre Pio predictions episode. And that's a lot of P's in a word, like Padre Pio prediction.
Good alliteration.
Pio.
Padre Pio. So
Daddy Pio.
we just talked about the 3 days of darkness.
Uh-huh.
And let's get through a couple of these more because he does really talk about predictions. All right, so let's go with the fifth one here. Many people will escape scared. Right off the bat, you have my attention. Many people escape scared. They will run without a goal. People will say there is salvation to the east, and people will run to the east, but they will fall off a cliff. They will say that that to the west there is salvation, and people will run to the west, but they will fall into a furnace. What the fuck does that mean?
Can I have MapQuest here? What the fuck are we talking about?
So the east is a cliff, the west is a furnace.
That's right.
Yes.
So we have to move to Nebraska to be in order to
So
be
it's
safe.
either north or south. Where's his direction?
Holy shit,
Where we
Joseph Smith the Mormon was right. The Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri.
West, comments?
I actually like that one.
You like it?
That one.
You gotta get on a pillow?
Huh?
You gotta get on a pillow?
No, not on a pillow, but that one definitely is. I like it because from my interpretation of that, it sounds like people are gonna think that salvation is in the east, and just given how like a lot of the way of the world is, people are leaning towards more of the Eastern way of traditionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that sort of salvation, I guess you could say. But then there's the cliff where, it'll leave you hanging or you'll just fall off that cliff. And then the West, where we're in right now, is just burning to hell. So,
See,
depending where you're standing at the moment.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
geographically.
West is always west, east is always east.
No,
Yeah,
but
but
like California's west of
there's-
us, and we're on the east coast of the
Yeah.
United States.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Is it like where you have to run to China, and then all of a sudden that's like that where the cliff is?
Well,
What's
isn't
the
California
furnace?
on fire right now?
Well, I can see the furnace
It's always
being
on fire.
like Yellowstone National Park is, but they have an active volcano somewhere, and it's set to explode. It's gonna
in
wipe
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, exactly. it's gonna wipe out half the fucking country when it finally does go boom.
Asshole.
Rip
Right?
is gonna stop it.
But like, okay, there's the west, and there's a big furnace, and then the east. There's no cliffs on the east. Like, we don't have any cliffs here,
The Himalayan
coastline.
mountains.
huh?
The Himalayan mountains.
That's in the Far East. I'm just talking about the United States. Now, if you're talking globally, that's a different story.
Well, Dad?
I'm really not sure what any of that last one means. I'm trying to dig up something.
You got the furnace, and you got the cliff, and you got to move to Iowa in order to be safe.
Well, if you're running to the east and you're going to you're going to fall off a cliff. There's not too many cliffs in the east.
Well, east United States. I mean,
He's standing here.
What
But
about
where
the
is he
Far
at?
East? What about Japan, China? All those, they're all the east.
none of them have cliffs either.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Well, if you go out to the west coast,
There's cliffs in the West Coast, but there's cliffs out in the West, but that's in the United States. But in the West, supposed to be a furnace. So I think he got his predictions
Yeah,
backwards.
I'm baffled by
I don't
this
know
one.
what the fuck he's talking about here.
all right. So we'll go on to the next one. right?
Confusion. Equal confusion on
Yeah,
everything.
we equal to confusion.
I am confusion.
All right. The earth will tremble and the panic will be great.
Mm.
The earth is sick. The earthquake will be like a snake. They will feel it crawling everywhere.
Mm.
And many stones will fall. And many men will perish.
All right, this seems more like a prophecy to me. I like
This one. I could get behind this one too.
This one was clear.
This one, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, like if you were to take this first line alone, it'd be like, oh, COVID.
The earth will tremble and the panic will be great.
And
I
the
was
earth is sick.
I was thinking more of California is about to fucking
Exactly.
go kaplutz.
So
I'm
was he,
thinking,
he's
like-
like sitting there talking about California
No, I'm
exclusively?
thinking like
Florida's gonna fall off.
I'm thinking more like
Something's falling.
like I just said, the Yellowstone supervolcano. When that thing finally fucking goes, it's gonna reshape
Well, I mean,
Canada, the United States, a lot of it. And if it's gonna be that, if it's going to be as big as a lot of scientists think it's going to be, it will be felt off very far off, like miles and miles and miles away.
Yeah, are we supposed to be gonna like get covered in like smoke for
But
days
isn't he
and years?
just
and
talking
shit?
about an earthquake?
A very big
That's
one.
what I was thinking.
I mean, if you start reading the second
Okay,
line,
so how is this a prophecy?
We're
'cause-
saying an earthquake's going to happen, which, like, spoiler alert, earthquakes happen.
Right, I can make that prophecy right now.
Yeah.
Am I a prophet?
No. But that's the thing. It doesn't have to be proven. But, like, I think, like, that's definitely of the nature of a prophecy. It's saying, hey, this thing hasn't happened yet, but it will. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks.
Dad?
Yeah, I think there should be rules. Somebody should regulate that. Like
Read
you
me
did
that one again.
the earth will tremble and the panic will be great. The earth is sick. The earthquake will be like a snake that will feel it crawling. They will feel it crawling everywhere, and many stones will fall, and many men will perish.
That's pretty much, the Book of Revelations type of stuff, where at the end of the world, and it's going to come in this big production. It's not going to just say, hey, we're here. You go here, you go here. It's going to be, you're going to get the end of the world. You're going to get people that are going to be once. Let's put it into perspective. Tomorrow morning, you wake up and you start seeing the earth shaking, and people aren't sitting around going, oh, that's peculiar. They're getting up and they're running. They're scared shit because they don't know what's going on. And then if Jesus rises out of a mountain and they go, shit, he is coming back and he is here to judge the living and the dead, they're going to panic and they're going to just, they're going to lose their rabbit ass minds because, people who haven't been living or walking with the Lord are now going to go, pick me. And he's going to go, no, I'm sorry. So the panic will ensue.
Okay, so he's predicting that the end of time will be a big earthquake.
Yeah, one of them.
Well, I've heard that,
And mass confusion.
and we'll talk more
I
about
thought
that.
it was
when
a
we talk-
trumpet.
The trumpet is also actually. Have you heard? Like, I don't know. Maybe we'll play it on the thing later, but like,
And you'll
There's-
still have a bunch of people outside the event going, t-shirts, 3 for $5.
there in I forgot what country it was, but people were hearing large trumpets in the sky.
Nobody was hearing fucking trumpets in the
No,
sky.
it's not trumpets per se,
Did this
but
motherfucker not just
it
like?
sounds like trumpets,
Okay.
and no one can explain what's going on.
I'm sure there's a reason why.
Yes,
well,
we know.
until you
we
can
know,
explain it.
You're a realist.
Oh,
Our theories is as good as yours. So
Understood. That's
Goddamn
fair.
pessimist.
Let's not forget, you also had a group of people back in 2016 going that this is the sign of the end times because trumpets will rain, and they said Trump and Pence, the president and the vice president. When you put their names together, it's trumpets. Just saying.
Don't
I'm
start.
just saying that's what people thought that shit.
Why we gotta make
For
it
the
political?
love of fuck.
I'm just saying people thought that was the end time.
We're going to the number 7. All right.
Gavin Newsom is the Antichrist. That's all I'm going to tell you.
You are like ants, because the
Hey.
time will come when men will take their eyes off of that which is godly for a crumb of bread. Businesses will be looted, warehouses will be taken in assault and destroyed. A poor person will be one who, in those dark days, will be without a candle. Sorry, they'll be without a cattle also. Without a jug of water and without what is necessary for 3 months.
It's always this fucking rule of 3 with this guy.
This just sounds like COVID.
That does sound like COVID.
Hold on, you're like ants because the time will come when men will take their eyes off of what is godly for a crumb of bread. Well, if I'm hungry and I'm praying and there's no food and I find a crumb of bread,
That's not what he means.
I
What
understand.
he means
but
here.
hold on, the second
You
part, businesses
literal
will be
motherfucker.
businesses will be looted,
Wow.
warehouses be taken and destroyed. That just sounds like California
Right now.
right now.
That's exactly
You know,
what I was going to
and
say.
then, like, a poor person will be one who, in those dark days, will be without a candle, without a jug of water, and will be out what is necessary for 3 months.
Well, if they're poor,
That-
they don't have them, period.
I'm gonna say, like, yeah, poor people don't have candles to begin with.
And they
I
don't
don't-
have cattle. They do not have any
Yeah,
cattle.
Yeah, it's hard for a poor person to take care of livestock.
Yeah,
I
but-
think the
Especially in
first
this
line,
economy.
the first line says it all. And
You're
then-
like ants because the time will come.
No, because
No,
the
that's
time
the
will
first
come
line.
when men will take their eyes off of
Of that which is godly.
for a crumb of
for
bread.
a crumb of bread. Which is exactly what it is. People will sell their souls at this point. don't give a fuck about what happens to them.
There's a difference between
Okay,
selling your soul for
and
something.
I think it's because of drugs. I think it's because of pestilence. I think it's because of unholy shit that's going on in the world.
Taylor
And
Swift.
people don't care. They just want now. They want instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and don't care what's going. There's a line. I'm going to say this, and see if you want to go with it. Someone once said, "A man will sell his soul for $100,000 for $1 million to do something evil. When you die, your soul is worth much, much, much more."
Uh-huh.
And that, to me,
Yes, he has
that's
souls.
exactly what I think the guy's what he's talking here. You're gonna sell it for something that doesn't matter. Give me that Cadillac. I want that Cadillac. And I don't give a shit. I got to. Well, pray to God. I pray to Satan. I win the lottery.
I'll sell my soul for
All right,
M3.
sell your soul to the devil for whatever, for something small and minute. That
Yo.
in the real world,
I'm kidding.
your soul's gonna be worth much, much more when you pass away.
I'm kidding. My soul is worth more than a Beamer.
Uh-huh. Like
Here we go.
the idea of people will take their eyes off what the godly for a crumb of bread. That to me sounds like I'm a poor person and I need something because I'm hungry. And I'm desperate. Not someone who's like,
Well,
I need a Beamer.
Hold on.
It's someone like, I need food and fucking water and basic living materials.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sit
Should
there.
have went to school.
You could take it both ways, though. If you look at it like if you turn around and this person's gonna take his eyes off of religion, off of God, off of being a holy person for a crumb of bread. That means you could take it as like someone's being distracted by just anything.
The ultimate thing is
Earthly wants.
there's a difference between wants and needs, and I think if he's comparing the earthly wants, the things you desire, which ultimately have no substance in the next life or the kingdom of heaven or whatever you want to say, if that's what it is, and those things are as significant as a crumb of bread, which fine, I can get behind that logic, but that's not what. It's hard to interpret that because it's not clear enough. He's not saying that the things you want in life that are not necessary.
Well, that's what happens with all predictions. They're not clear enough for anything. You can interpret them for anything.
Yeah, it's like a car, when you value it, means nothing in the eyes of the Lord. It is less than a crumb of bread. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or are you saying that people will sell their souls because they're fucking broke and have no money and they're hungry?
And I think that's way too literal. But
I mean, I think you can.
the whole thing speaks
both.
for itself. It really does.
I honestly think you could sit there and say that they'll do it in both ways, for something that they want and because they're hungry.
Well, if it's something you need versus something you want, you're gonna want you need
Well,
that
I mean,
thing to
either
live.
way though, you don't sit there and sell your soul for anything.
Yeah, that's true. It's the bad return on
I mean,
investment.
again, if you sit there, and I know there's a lot of people who sit there and don't believe in souls and stuff like that. I'm not, if you believe in souls and you believe this is something that you have and you possess and you want to go to heaven, you want to do all that stuff. Like, this is something like you never sell that for anything, no matter what it is, because you're always gonna have that peace whenever you do pass
Did he
away.
say soul?
No, I think what you
No.
got here is something metaphoric, and the more I'm reading it, the more it's like bingo. The poor will be one who poor will be one who in the days of darkness will be without a candle, without a jug of water, and without the necessary for 3 months. What does that say to you?
The days leading up to the election.
It means we're gonna have a very, very light summer.
No, what it says is the poor, the people that aren't going to survive this purge of Jesus Christ or of God, will be the ones that are unprepared. If you're unprepared, if you don't have a candle, you
That's
can't
right.
see. You don't have water, you can't drink. You don't have food, you
So,
can't eat.
With that-
You're
I-
unprepared
hold on.
in the ways of getting
Well, hold on.
to the
I
Lord.
think we're all
Wow.
misreading
I
as
think
far
we're
as.
just all interpreting it our own way.
Well, no, but you could sit there and say the poor meaning wealthy poor or just the poor of spirit.
Okay.
You can sit there and do that. If
My point is too fucking vague.
it's very vague. Again, that's what these are. Excuse me, sir, but that's what these are. Like, you could sit there and they are vague. But if you want to sit there and turn around and be like, look, you're not physically like money poor, but if you're spiritually poor, if you've lost your way from God, from religion, from whatever, when the time comes, as Dad says, and Jesus is upon us, then you'll be left in the fuck behind. Like, that's what it is. Like,
Maybe.
I don't know.
The
I think
next
I'm
one.
gonna
Go
take
to the
it-
next one. I like the
kinda-
next one.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Did you have something? to say?
Yeah, I was gonna take it for what it was. I just think he means like your back's against the wall. You're gonna give up your belief to. You're gonna throw out your godly way. Like your back's against the wall. You're gonna commit whatever you have to commit because you're poor. So from him being, well, nothing against Catholics, but Catholics was all about a money type of thing. So he could be saying really just straight out like the poor are gonna suffer. Their backs are gonna be against the wall, and they're gonna throw out their godly ways. Is going to be one of the first things they're going to get rid of, you know?
All right. Coming from that perspective, then, put yourself in that situation. Would you throw your faith away if
No.
you were in the corner?
No.
No? You?
No.
Wes?
No, I wouldn't.
Would I throw my faith away if I was in a corner?
Yeah, backed away in the corner.
If you had a little option, it was just...
And it depends on whether what you're meaning by throwing your faith away. Like some people were like, well, I'm not going to strip so I can get money. Like that's throwing my faith away.
I'm not going to show my dick on the internet.
You lying motherfucker.
Oh, right.
Just think of the lions that were being eaten in the Colosseum in Rome. They were told to give up their faith, or they will be lion food, and hundreds of them were put to their death because they wouldn't give up their faith. You know, my faith is my faith, and you can have the lions have at
The
it.
lions weren't being eaten. The lions were eating.
Yeah,
Right.
the Lions
Okay.
were-
Christians were used for sport in their early
plus
days.
they had to gamble. It was an economy stir, you know.
But to answer your question, I don't think I would abandon my faith for.
Dad?
Fuck, no, not a chance. Not a chance.
I don't think I would.
I
either.
like this next one.
All right, number 8. A land will disappear. A great land.
The best land. One of the greatest lands ever.
A country will be erased forever from geographical maps,
Can I read all these as Trump?
and with it, history, wealth,
Never ever seen a land like that.
and men will be dragged into the mud.
Atlantis.
Fuck you.
Oh, come on!
I'm thinking about Palestine with that one.
I'm thinking, like,
I don't think
to me,
I mean, it's right there. The ocean's right there. I mean,
I'm not even trying to be funny with it either. Like, because you said a
the
country.
sea is right there.
Because you said a country's going to be eradicated, and pretty much like Palestine's being eradicated.
They can't flee west.
well, let's just put
They're
it like
being
this.
eradicated because they can't flee.
No. I'm saying like they can't like geographically they can't flee
Well,
west
first
because
of all,
the ocean's there.
This is going to be
Or the
very,
sea is
very
there.
controversial, and I don't give a shit. They're eradicating each other.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh.
it's not one or the other. They're both eradicating each other, and I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me.
All
Are
right.
they a great land? I mean, what is a great land?
It's a holy land.
Palestine?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Israel,
Israel, the Holy Lands, if you believe that area it was.
Palestine? That's not a part of Israel.
What?
No,
Is it?
No.
Um.
No.
Well, technically speaking,
No.
No.
We can
No,
talk
no.
about this. We can talk about
we
this
can
another
talk about
time.
This one off
Anywho,
air.
We can talk about this.
Could you apply this one to the United States?
How do you wipe it off geographically?
I mean,
Earthquake?
again, you're talking too
I mean,
literal.
Yellowstone.
Also,
We should just make this about Yellowstone because that's what I keep going to.
again, you could take this literal, or you could take this as far as like, maybe
Countries
something
have-
else.
Like, can we say that countries have been erased? Like that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, Schmittler tried doing that for a hot minute.
We'll go back to number 6 because if there's a big earthquake and it's going to be coming through the land like a snake, it's going to take out a lot of land. You know, and how many
Again-
people nowadays
again,
tell you,
you're-
well, California's
you're
going to be wiped
taking-
off the map in 100
You could
years?
sit there and take that very literal. Like it's a literal take. If you want to take it more metaphorical,
I hope it strikes Canada.
if you want to take it more metaphorical, meaning a country is going to be destroyed by not having the faith in the people not having faith or anything like that, and you could sit there and take it that way.
Hold on, he says geographical maps. He is talking about science. Like that's the one thing I've been saying this whole time.
Hawaii.
Like, what is he talking about?
Hawaii's not a
East, west,
country,
whatever.
West. Hawaii's a
saying-
state.
He's saying that there is a piece of
Cuba.
physical land that's going to be wiped away forever. Maybe it's Australia, and God was like, he pulls a swerve on us.
That's not a
Epstein
great.
Island.
That's not a great land.
Australia's not a great land. What is your beef with Australia?
Fuck them niggas.
They're kangaroos and marsupials.
Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, came from Australia.
Yeah, and Australia took them out too. So fuck them niggas.
No, Jesus.
Go to number 9, Joe.
Number
Go to
9.
Number 9.
The love,
Respectfully, I love them though.
the love of man for man has become an empty word. How can you expect Jesus to love you if you do not love those who eat at your own table? Of the wrath of God, men of science will not be forgiven, but only men of heart.
I like that one.
Damn, he portrayed Anthony.
I like that one.
Yo, he
I like-
portrayed Anthony.
I like that one.
With you being pointed out real quick, Anthony, do you want to respond?
I agree with what he's saying.
You think you're gonna be eradicated?
No, I agree with what he's saying up until the men of science.
That is a
won.
big bolt of lightning.
Here's the thing. I'm not an atheist, and I don't believe that there is any scientist, regardless of how they're proving that
Shrinking God theory.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how much they utilize the shrinking God theory or further that theory, they'll ever be able to eradicate God. I'm not an atheist for that sole reason. So I do agree with what he's saying. And I think when he says men of science will not be forgiven, I think it's those who are saying that eventually science will explain everything, including God. And that's not going to happen. That's not possible. Because
I think he's talking about like Nazis and shit.
You can't have something from nothing.
Talking about
And science is, and you have some scientists who are trying to.
Nazis were done by 59, West.
They still won't be forgiven.
That's
no,
true.
that's.
You can't have something from nothing, and that's something that sparked everything is God. And that's what I believe on a personal level.
Well, you got to also understand too that the science tries to manipulate stuff that's given to us. They with all the cloning and all the stuff like that. Whether you're for abortion or against abortion, still has to filter through science. Okay, science will try to make themselves correct. They do it all the time. They try to.
Science has always been a double-edged sword. Listen,
it's very, very, very close.
We have a podcast. There's a little rectangle that lives in your pocket that has all the information, known information you could ever want on it.
My computer
That's
phone?
only because of science. This wasn't given us or created to us from God.
I don't think that's what he's talking about.
What I'm saying is, though, that
you could look at it. It was created by God because God gave us the knowledge.
Yeah, everything ultimately fine, but we had to set this thing up, and the only reason we figured out how this works is through scientific miracles. Science has also been used for evil.
This is not a miracle. This isn't a miracle. It's fucking diodes and crystals and all this other shit. This is a bunch of people getting together and figuring out how figure it out.
Excuse me, sir. Can you get me some crystals and diodes and some gold and give me a telegraphic device?
Hold on a second. The knowledge and the understanding and the insight of if you do this and this with the natural things that we've been given, it creates this. That is the miracle. That understanding that I can interpret that these two things are, when you put them together, are greater than these two things on their own. That knowledge is a miracle.
Okay.
No, that knowledge is an end result of gifts that you were given. The miracle is the fact that you're able to walk upright, wipe your own ass, and actually have your own thought. That's where the miracle comes in.
I'm not disagreeing with. There's that miracle, and there's the fact that there's some people who couldn't do that, and based off of scientific breakthroughs, people asking questions and creating these things, that some people were able to regain the ability to wipe their own ass.
Well, I don't know. To me, I think this is.
I'm going to give you the final word because we haven't heard from you.
Sorry, the men who go, God doesn't exist and I'm a man of science, those are the ones that aren't going to be forgiven.
Okay.
When he came up with these prophecies?
1959.
Okay, he could be talking about the Church of Scientology.
That is...
Yeah, we're going to carve those fuckers up next week.
He's not wrong.
They were new around that time.
L. Ron Hubbard.
He was just saying, well, if you believe in that, what did he say? You're not forgiven in that prophecy?
Men of science will not be forgiven.
Only men of heart.
Yeah, so I think he's taking a direct shot at the Church of Scientology.
He was the first one to get the shit on the Church of Scientology.
Yeah,
but the whole thing
high five on that one.
The whole thing of not forgiven, if you end up passing away believing that, then sure, you wouldn't be forgiven, but that's up to God. But if they turn their life around, turn their life to Jesus, then they could be forgiven.
One thing I do got to say before we go to break is one thing I've always learned and always realized in religious teaching is God will always forgive if you open your heart. So
right.
That's one thing I don't think they'll sit there and...
When are we supposed to get judged?
We'll talk about that when we return from break.
No, but just...
Shut the fuck up!
I'm not trying to say something funny. I'm being serious. In the book of Revelation says God is God will come, whatever will come down to judge the living and the dead. They're dead, aren't they judged already? Should they already be in heaven hanging out?
Well, yeah, they are. They when you pass, you go straight. You go straight to the throne. You know, and if you're forgiven, or you lived a life and you follow Jesus and you believe in it, then it's more of like a teaching moment, like through your sin.
Oh,
you know,
final exam.
yeah. Well, no, it's not an exam. And you failed, now you go to hell.
Okay.
No, it's not like that. If you're there, then you're there, and your sin is more of like a teaching moment, you know. But if you're not there and you're burning, then you weren't forgiven.
I also think they'll sit there again. It's an eternal thing down in hell. Whenever
you will see God either way.
Whenever Judgment Day comes, if it does, whenever Judgment Day comes, they'll judge the ones in hell. He'll rejudge the ones in hell. He'll rejudge the ones in purgatory. He'll rejudge the ones here. And the dead and the living. So there's a lot of rejudgment here. So maybe, but we'll be.
Why he hasn't started yet? It's a lot of work.
Shut up! I'm going to flick you. We'll be right back. Again, please go listen to some of our sponsors, and we'll come back and finish this episode. Thank you very much. And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION, that is QUESTION, at checkout, and get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout at adamandeve.com.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org.
And welcome back, everybody, as we continue our episode on the prophecies of Padre Pio. Or to me, and this is more like it's just general observations of Padre Pio. That's what I feel like they are. They're
My
not
name's
really
Pio, and here are my guesses.
That's what I feel like they are. They're not really prophecies.
Hey, I'm Padre Pio. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
Just,
the ladies call me Daddy Pio.
just telling you some things I've noticed.
Padre Pio's the one in the chat. All right, so let's finish off these. Let's finish off these prophecies. So number 10, I am desperate. I do not.
Sheesh.
What happened here?
You're good.
Are we
TV
still
just went off.
recording?
We're still recording.
Yeah, the screen went off.
Turn the screen back on.
Is it time thing? Is it time out?
No, it's not. He might have hit the thing. The remote's there, Wes.
Yeah. Keep going.
What? The remote's there. Right there.
It's really like next to your hand, bro.
Nope. Anything else you want? Hit it under. There we go.
There you go.
Now go over to PlayStation 5. Click that. We'll just restart.
Yeah. I think Padre Pio got pissed at us.
Alright, just hit the zoom in button on there. There we go. Alright. 5, 4, 3. And we are back with the predictions of Sir Padre Pio. And let's let's continue this episode. We have
see
3
what
more
else
left.
Papa Pio's got for
Yeah,
us.
Padre Pio and his observations. Number 10. I am desperate.
We know.
I do not fuck you. I am desperate. I do not know what to do for humanity to repent. If you continue on this path, the tremendous wrath of God will be unleashed like a tremendous thunderbolt.
Now we're talking. Just like, you fuckers need to stop and fix your shit,
It's not a prophecy though.
or God's gonna strike you down. We've heard that since biblical times.
Yeah, it's in the end of the Bible. Read it. It's there.
I heard that in Pulp Fiction. I mean,
He's not wrong.
He's not.
It's just like I think it's like with him starting it off with "I am desperate." Like, you fuckers better fucking wake up and realize.
Go Wrath of Zeus on your ass.
Like, and it's not a prediction. It's not a prophecy. It's like a plea. Like, come on, guys.
For the love of fuck, do the right thing.
Like,
follow
straight
Jesus.
down with mighty vengeance.
Jesus. All right, number 11. A meteor will fall on the earth and everything will shine. That's a prophecy.
That's
a
not a
fucking-
prophecy. That's a
everything will
fucking.
shine.
That's a fucking Hail Mary right there, bro.
It will be a disaster.
Thank
Much
you.
worse than a war. Many
Duh.
things will be canceled,
Not my Friday night book club.
Many things will be canceled.
and this will be
A
one of the
fucking
signs.
meteor, bro. What the fuck?
So we start off with number 11. We start off number 11. Why don't you pull in this? With a bang. A
Literally.
meteor will fall on the earth and everything will fucking shine.
Like, yeah, like it's happened before. It'll happen again. We know this shit.
Yeah, but everything will be canceled. It'll be a disaster.
And it will shine. What does that even mean?
Burn.
Well, I got a kick out of everything's going to shine. It's going to be a great disaster.
Like,
And
thanks.
this will be one of the signs. What's more to come?
Hey, if I'm on fire, I'm shining.
Pretty much. I mean, come on.
I just love the fact many things will be canceled.
Not all things, just many things.
The
Oh,
Super
God.
Bowl won't.
I
The
hope
Super Bowl
The
will
View
not
is
be
one of
canceled.
them.
What?
I hope The View is one of them.
Many things that won't be canceled. You know.
That'd be the only thing left on TV.
You know, just like the Seaside had its St. Patrick's Day parade yesterday, and under it said "Rain or Shine." That won't be canceled.
Not
So-
the AVN Awards. I had tickets.
Many people with the AVN right now, there might not be anybody left.
That's true. We lost 2 porn stars in the last month, and there's a third one that's like in a coma.
I think this is what he's talking about right here.
What is going?
Padre
we'll talk
Pio.
off there.
Yeah,
I
we'll
wonder-
talk off the air.
And here's the last one. Ready?
Last
Men will live a tragic experience. Many will be overwhelmed by the river. Many will be burned by fire.
Okay.
Many will be buried by poisons. But I will stay close to the pure of heart.
Thanks, Padre. Good to know that you're looking out for yourself. He basically went in the last couple stanzas. He went, "Fuck you, people. Fix your shit. I'm gonna be in the shelter."
Basically,
I mean, basically, again, like, this is.
What river?
by the
though?
river, yeah.
I
Right?
wanna know
What river are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Many,
Well,
many
the river that
we
tragic
cry?
Experience. Like that should be the name of my autobiography. A tragic experience.
Dealing with you is a tragic experience. Let's just put it like this. You could interpret it as many men will be drowned by the river. You know, if you want to sit there and say the ice caps are melting, flooding.
I think it's just another means of death. You know, it's like you say, many will die by the gun, be stabbed by the knife. It's like drowned in the river, burned by this, buried by that.
Burned by fire could be whatever the fuck you were talking about before.
Yeah.
But the poisons, what do you think the poisons would be?
Poisons
Our
would be
food.
Poison ivy.
Our food, pestilence, COVID, disease, all that shit.
So disease,
Wait,
water, and fire.
Like poison ivy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
poison
motherfucker
ivy,
really said
that's-
poison ivy.
He said poison
I
ivy.
said poison ivy.
I mean, like, drug problems.
The drug problems, where we poison our
Poison.
minds, our bodies, our spirits, our souls.
The drug problems, West.
Fuck you looking at me for?
Poison oak. You gotta stay away from
Poison sumac.
that. Yeah.
Don't wanna
gotta
get
stay
that
away
on your
from that.
balls.
Yeah. Whoa.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Snakes.
Steve Irwin.
A lot of snakes out there. They're
Yeah,
poisonous.
don't bring Steve into this.
Too much. Too
Yeah,
close.
that's too
That's-
much.
Well, actually, no,
Close.
excuse me. Snakes are venomous. They bite and they inject. Poison is when you bite something and you get sick and die from it. So, are you
Flowers.
flowers, yeah.
All right,
Yep.
Dad, your take on this?
To be honest with you, Joey, I honestly don't know what the hell he's talking about, other than saying, you know what, death is coming. Pick your fucking poison, whether you're gonna die by, something bad you ate or a disease. Somebody's river's gonna overflow and you're gonna drown in it.
So,
I'll be honest. I do agree with Anthony
But
at this
what,
point.
I like what he did say at the end, though. Fuck you all. You're on your own. I'm out of here.
I do
Peace.
agree with
I'm
Anthony.
the padre.
I think it's more of like fuck you all. I'm trying to warn you. Be close to fucking God. If you don't, everything's gonna unravel and it's all gonna go to fucking
Yeah,
hell.
I agree.
And I think that's what basically in his entire stanza, or these entire verses of which we saw. Now, granted, that's just 12 things out of an entire letter that he wrote.
Are they prophecy?
But are they prophecies?
Tell you what.
Just warnings.
Oh no, he's getting up. He's getting up. What is he doing?
What's that?
We're not sponsored.
Is that a
The fortune-telling M&M thing here
Where the hell
has
did
a
that come
better
from?
shot of telling me a fortune than what Padre Pio is fucking spewing.
We're not sponsored.
I'm not saying we're sponsored. I'm saying I would believe that the fortune that this thing gives me before I believe this. All he did was state facts that are probably gonna
Oh,
happen.
you could use it. Press the thing on the inside. Ask it a question. You press it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's like a square.
It's like, will I ever be rich? And you hit it, and the little dice tells you if you will or not.
Is Padre Pio right about his predictions? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no.
Spoken by the
Eminem
green.
has spoken.
The Eminem has spoken. All hail the green Eminem.
All hail green Eminem.
Because you can't make the same sound.
No, you can't, but does she
Wait,
have her white
hold
boots?
on. That sound is that is fucking copywritten.
It could be.
Does she have
It's
on
an
her white
episode.
boots? I remember Tucker Carlson was very upset they took away her white boots.
Anywho, predictions? Yes.
Fuck no.
Predictions?
Oh.
Dad, predictions? Wes, predictions?
Fence.
Fence. He's on the fence.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no with
Was
this.
a
Now,
lot of malarkey.
again, you could sit there and maybe he's speaking about his times and what he's seeing and just observations. I would take that more than he's predicting some things.
Okay, that's fair. You know there's going to be some asshole listening who's like, you guys don't understand what you're talking about. You're misinterpreting it all. You don't know what you're saying. This is the worst podcast ever.
Well, no, I do. We get.
You're writing in caps, asshole. We're not going to read. We're not going to...
I also get those
Don't
people
care.
who
You also
complain
eat
about the
peanut
music
butter
in
for
the
fun, my nigga.
background,
Like,
so.
shut up.
Yeah, lower the music. I complain about the music.
I
in the
did
background.
lower the music.
Keep fucking lowering it.
Jesus Christ!
Should be at like 1%. Just enough to be like, oh, that is
I'm
noticeable.
sorry. How many of these have you edited?
I'm just telling you what the people want. I'm a voice
I don't
of the
give
people.
a fuck. Anywho, does anybody have anything else to add?
No.
No. We're good on this episode.
Padre wasn't even a real father.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no.
They can't even call him father. They have to call him Padre.
He was Italian. That's what it means, an Italian father.
Yeah, but look at his
Yeah.
face. Look at that face. You really trust that face?
Heck no.
He looked like he
You know they believe he never committed a sin.
Okay.
Look at this
First of all,
man.
time out.
He's
We're,
sinned.
hold up.
He sinned
Whoa,
30
whoa,
minutes before
whoa,
this
whoa,
photo
whoa,
shoot.
whoa, whoa. Hold on.
I don't know.
First of all, we're
First-
not gonna shit all over the fucking a
Padre.
person.
I am.
Not to mention he was apparently
Look
blessed.
at him.
Yes.
He sinned.
Apparently,
He
also
looked
had
like he touched
stigmata.
kids.
He was a man.
Look at
He was
that
a human.
hairline. This man has sinned before.
He was a human. Of course he sinned.
He looked like he sniffed
Yeah,
children.
But they're saying that he was a perfect man. He never sinned.
And he also had stigmata allegedly, so that means that God anointed him or Jesus anointed him. Like, I have I choose you to carry my boo boos.
Okay. We're going to end this episode right here before I fucking punch him.
They gave Jesus the big owie.
Because he needs to be punched. And
He
again,
needs to be kneed in the face again.
yes. Anything to add anywhere. Shut his mic off. Shut his mic off right now. It's the blue mic. Thank you. Anybody else being added anywhere? Shut Izzy's mic off.
You gotta be kidding.
No? Okay. We'll catch you guys next week. Go to isisrealpc.com. Look at all of our social media stuff. Look at all of our store stuff. You can buy these right on the Is This Real PC TikTok page now. We have them in our TikTok shop. And please go listen to our, we're on Spotify, obviously. And go to our YouTube page, Green Arrow Media. And if you go to any of our social medias and our website, our link tree with all of our links is on those things. So we'll catch you guys next week. Everybody say goodbye. The ones who can. And we'll catch you guys next week. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night.